Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I'm David, and I'm here with Maya and Jawad. Hi, everyone. Hi, Maya. Hi, Jawad.
Hey,
Hi, everyone.
pleased to be
Hi.
here.
So today you are on NFT Tuesday. Basically, we're going to make a round trip about NFT during those next 6 weeks. Can we share the screen, please? Voila. Really happy to see you all. We are more than 1,000 right now. I see the number. It's quite impressive. So the aim of NFT Tuesday and of this series of webinar is to give you an extensive view of what the NFT trend is, but not as a view of people speaking and ha 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 and speaking about tendency, but more about a practical technological view with people that does NFT and show you how to do the same. So what we're gonna do, and really the aim of it is you can go on this presentation just by joining this link. It's really simple, and every Tuesday at the same hour, we're gonna explain you stuff about NFTs, the technology behind it. The program is here, so it's gonna be a series of 6 webinars to discuss all about NFT, everything you need to know, the digital economy around it, bullish or bearish investment. Are we in a bubble? Are we in a bubble yet? A beginner's guide on how to manipulate them, create them, etc. NFT for developer, and what is the next level. You can join our community. We have a community dedicated to NFT right now on Binance NFT. Here is the link, and as I tell you, this presentation is available for everyone. Maya, do you have anything to add to this?
I just wanted the community, I wanted to encourage community to join the Telegram group that we have specifically created for the NFTs. Yeah, let me quickly show it on the screen. And also, can you please, David, go full screen? Because it might be hard to read.
Perfect. Let's go on the next slide. So basically, what is the plan for today? And I'm really happy, Jawad, to have you here. We're gonna introduce you in 2 minutes. I just want to speak about this session. So basically, first presentation of Terra Virtua, your concept, how you work with NFT. We have made a big survey about all the Binance users, and we have a lot of questions about NFT. We're going to respond to the most common of them. Then we're going to show you a little bit our reading of the NFT landscape on all the blockchain environment. And then we're going to show you how to create your first NFT on BSC. It's a little bit the first prototype that you can do. And voila. So let's start. But let's start with one thing. NFT contest. We've created a first contest for you for this week. Basically, we're gonna give you the opportunity to create your first NFT with Bakery, and then to get Bakery if the NFT is really creative. So do not hesitate to participate to it. The contest is free, and you can participate until the next NFT Tuesday, where we're gonna showcase the winner. Here it is. So without waiting, Jawad, could you please introduce us?
Okay, sure. Okay. So my name is Joanne Ashraf. I'm the co-founder of a company called Terra Virtua. We're listed on Binance, and our ticker is TVK. Essentially, we're one of the key companies in the NFT space right now. So we are looking to make NFTs much more engaging, and our focus is the mass market audience, because the key thing that we want to try to make everyone understand here, that NFTs are here to stay. And NFTs are a way for you to have a digital asset that will last forever. So what we've been working with Terra Virtua is to basically find a way to bring NFTs based upon really interesting IP of high quality and bring them to the mass market. So we've been building a team and a studio to get these out, and we've signed up major studios like Paramount and Legendary, from brands like The Godfather to the new Godzilla vs. Kong movie to areas like sports, music. There's so much more coming onto our platform. And fundamentally, one of our main missions here is to bring high quality NFTs to the masses, and also find a way to bring in mainstream artists and crypto artists into a marketplace where they can sell and make recurring revenues from their creations. Because right now, artists, a lot of the time in this digital age, aren't being rewarded. They just become part of like a Spotify army, or they become part of a marketplace where you pay one subscription and you suck as much as you want, but the creators often don't get paid for their work, not to the level that they need to, or the time and effort they put into it. And that's something that NFTs can change, and that's what we're trying to do in Terra Virtua.
Okay, thank you. And recently, so I saw you were working on different IP. Basically, what the most successful, so Pacific Rim, and this is really cool. That's really
Yeah.
And the second one, it was Godzilla versus Kong, right?
Yeah, and this was actually the first dual-branded mainstream NFT launch in the world. So we had the studios promoting an NFT company simultaneously while launching it to the masses, and that's a big step forwards. I mean, Paramount have already tweeted us about us directly on their pages, but this was dual marketing, and it's not easy. You know, studio approvals. It's much easier just making something, but going through with studios, it's very, very complicated.
No, bravo for your breakthrough, and this is really a promising example of what is gonna go more forward. Let's go directly on the question of the community. We have an extra pack schedule, and I want to be really precise. You're gonna all, I'm gonna all feel sorry for my French accent. I'm sorry, guys, for it. Do you have like anything you want to like point out, Jawad, before going to the most common question?
Sure,
I saw that you gave us some NFT inspiring artist story, what the fuck is NFT, etc. All those elements we have inside the presentation, but do you want to sum it up in 1 or 2 sentences?
Yeah, look, basically NFTs have started off in a very most basic form as something which you can get physically with a digital replication. That's really what it is. People view it as the same thing. They say, why do I want an NFT? Because I have a painting on my wall. Why would I want it on my computer? But the main thing here is, and that's what you're going to start to see, that digital item is going to do more than the physical item does. Because why have it digitally? If you've got it digitally, yes, you have better distribution. More people can see it. There are more ways to share it. But we're going to see some real innovation in this space. And there's a link here that you can click. And Amrita is a good example in that she was someone who was a painter in Dubai. She was doing things for the sheikh on the wall of his palace. It has, you know, her paintings. And she did lots of commissions. And now she is making beautiful animated NFT pieces, one-of-one pieces. And they're selling, and she's making revenues and reaching a global audience. Before she was here in Dubai, and now she's got people in Korea and Iceland buying her paintings. So NFTs is a way to reach the masses, but also we're going to see some really interesting new types of NFTs as they progress.
Yeah, and we're going to do a break landscape of what we saw inside the NFT space with Maya together. Before, so basically we've made a survey of more than thousands of answers with the community about NFT, what they represent to us, etc. We wanted to give you more response to the most generic questions that we have. We're going to take a real no bullshit approach right now. Here, basically, what we're going to do is that we have one question, 3 sentences each, no more. There's going to be one only exception for Jawad on one question that is important and that he did massively. But except that, it's going to be really round table and fireside question. Let's go on. How would you explain what is an NFT in 1 sentence? Who wants to begin first?
Okay.
Jawad.
Okay, 1 sentence. Okay. An NFT is a digital item which is permanent and you can give to your
Jawad. Jawad, do you hear us?
Yeah, no, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, all right.
How would you explain what is an NFT in 1 sentence? If you had like only
an NFT is a permanent digital item you can give to your grandchildren. There you go.
Oh, that's a good explanation. For me, if I had only 1 sentence, I would say that it's the first digital object that you cannot copy and paste.
Right. Then for me, it's the most innovative way to protect your intellectual property.
That's fun also. So that's, 3 different aspects on NFT. We are not going to make you a description of what is an NFT by the book, etc., because I think you all know what is an NFT. I think you all already went on this, so I will avoid that to happen. And I don't want to lose someone on the fungible world, so let's skip that and go on more basic question. Next question. What is the value of NFT? I'm the guy who know the less on that, so I'm going to begin. For me, the value of NFT is such as the value of a digital asset. It's really about his unicity, his value is more about the artistic point of view or unicity and the offer and demand. Voilà for me.
Okay, I would say the value of an NFT is basically the same value would attach to a physical item if you're a fan.
Yeah,
it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and a price of any item is what is it worth to you yourself. I mean, I'm just explaining my one sentence.
exactly.
No.
That's a really interesting exercise, because right now we are not like doing, those playful, like long 5 minutes where we don't know even the beginning of the sentence that we had at first. Maya, what would you add in terms of value of an NFT for you?
Before I answer your question, David, can you please go full screen with the presentation? You need to click on present.
Yeah, let me go full screen.
Because we have a few comments in the chat.
Yes.
And some people don't see. Can you please?
Up, here it is. You see nothing.
Sorry about the.
Yeah, let me just load so
that.
Voila. So
that's amazing. That's much better now. Well, for me, I would also encourage the community to answer those questions, because we really value your feedback and we want to know what you actually think about NFTs. So for me, I think the biggest value of NFT, since, for example, crypto and Bitcoin is backed up by people's trust, then NFT is something that is backed up by artist recognition. So yeah, it's totally different if I create NFT or a famous artist would do that.
Yeah.
So people create the value.
If you are Picasso and you create an NFT, maybe it's not going to have the value of me or you or Jawad. It's different, but it's like that. Next question. NFT and IP right. We're going to take 5 minutes on that, and Jawad, I want you to give us a little bit of insight on that. Yeah. So what are the good practice? Just to give me more, but basically a lot of people has the question of, can we put any element inside an NFT? How can we prevent someone to take something that belongs to us and makes it an NFT, etc., etc.? So what is your point of view? You know better than us.
This is the Terra Virga soapbox. So essentially, IPs. Now, what if anyone does anything in the physical world, the rules for an NFT are basically bringing the physical world rules to a digital item. Before, like you said, you can just copy and paste. But because you can copy and paste it, there's no inherent value to it. So if I buy a painting and it's a single piece, a one of one, then in the physical world, it has value. Now, if we make it in the digital world, it only has value if it's an original piece. So it's not enough that it's just an NFT and it's unique. It's got to have that uniqueness because it's been produced by an artist or a studio or somebody who actually was the creator of this. And that's sometimes people, because they've come from digital, they forget the fact that cutting and pasting stuff that doesn't belong to them isn't the way you can actually, shouldn't be what you're doing. Because it's like saying that if I buy this phone, I don't have the right to then go ahead and manufacture more of them. I don't have the right to it. I can own it, but I can't use it to make something else. And so what's happening with NFTs at the moment, and that's what we're doing in Terra Virtua, working with IP holders to license the IP, work out the best things to create, original things to create, and create them for the audience. But then that's also the same rule for an artist. If you've got a great artist and they make a piece of work, you protect their rights in the same way. Now, because it's very easy, NFTs are very easy to create, people sometimes are getting confused and thinking they've got the rights to take stuff that they don't own, make pieces based upon IP they haven't created, and essentially sell those pieces themselves. Now, right now they can, but one analog that we discussed in the past is you had Napster before you had Spotify and iTunes and everything else, and it was a great music platform, but all the music was pirated, and when the brands woke up, everyone got sued. And you know what? People who are buying items which are derivatives of non-IP, literally they are putting themselves a little bit in the crosshairs. So they've got to be very careful about what they buy and what they create. And you know what? It's there to protect everyone, from the little guy to the big guy. And this is one of the things that we have to be very mindful of. And right now people aren't, but people will. people will learn, but we have to be advocates and say, look, if somebody spent time and effort creating something for themselves, let's say an artist has created a beautiful piece of artwork and they put a lot of themselves into it, if somebody just copies it and uses it, it's not fair. And NFTs provide the ability to make this asset real and make that asset have value and have resale value. So a royalty is provided to the creator further down the line, which is what can't happen right now in the physical world. Only the agents get to make the money, not the artist. So that's the good practices are: don't use IP that you don't own. If you do use IP, get permission for it. And also, one of the main things that we have got to be very aware of as NFT owners is not to be mindful of the fact that when you're buying something, even if it's an NFT, unless it's from an approved source, it may be a copy of somebody else's work. Because right now they look the same. They're on the blockchain, but if there's no verification behind it that it's an artist, what's stopping you from buying something or somebody who's posing as an artist? Because the blockchain is allowing anonymity. So even when just like the whole point of the blockchain is speed and trustless transactions, but in this case, the anonymity goes the other way. You need to know who you're buying from. So those are things to look. Respect the IP and also be careful where you buy from, because sometimes if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's not the duck that you think you bought. So you got to be careful about it. So that's the little monologue. I hope I can.
Two things to add about that. So I'm looking at all the comments inside the chat. Everyone, please, if you like this webinar, do not hesitate to put a thumbs up inside the video. It's really helpful. Everyone is going to know more about NFT, BTC price going to go up. Make a jest for you, make a jest for us. And you see, I worked this one. And secondly, everyone find your office really, really cool, Jawad.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. What is the background of it? Like, you have an Iron Man, I see. Like,
I've got an Iron Man, I've got a Thanos, I've got a Predator head, a Rorschach from Watchmen. I mean, all of the Terra Virtua team are huge geeks. We are basically selling what we want, what we like. So we have Pacific Rim, but the robot was on my wall before we licensed it.
I'm personally a fan of the soundtrack, and so I understand you a lot. Last things before going to the last question. I see a lot of people that say hi from Iceland, Colombia, all the places in the world. Thank you all to come to this webinar. Really, thank you. Next question. So on the IP rights, thank you, Jawad, to have given us a resume of that. It's really precise. Be aware about either the material you're using, either the source it comes from. When you buy an NFT, it's important. And the next boiling question, NFT and environment. Maya, I let you begin with that. What's your opinion on that in 2-3 sentences? Good or bad?
I honestly believe it might be too early to blame NFTs for killing the planet. It's still very little portion of those transactions. So I'm being positive about it so far. Yeah. What do you think?
Average. Basically, we know that blockchain is not the best greener energy. Even if it uses green energy in most of the case, it is a great getaway for renewable energy, better than a storage on battery. After that, we know that NFT, the technology has to evolve. It's a really early technology. So when it's ramp up, we're going to hope the technology will ramp up as well. And that's why proof of stake is really important. So on Binance Smart Chain, it's a proof of stake. Let's say it's less worse than better and best. But I would just give one story about that. It's about, existing art, existing non-fungible object, existing art piece or unique object. For example, when we had to move Guernica, the painting of Picasso, we used a beluga. A beluga is a bigger plane with a roof that can lift up and open in order to put it. So basically, art piece and even unique object right now consume a lot of energy to be transported, to be certified, to be checked, and so we need to have a real comparison of the energy to be able to judge. Jawad, do you want to add anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, this is just building on what you said. Just imagine that if you go ahead and you buy a doll, It's created, it's manufactured under heat, it goes to a production facility. Then after that, the boxing is done, then it's packaged and then air-shipped to a location, after which is then put in an Amazon box, which is this big, for a doll this big, and then shipped to your door. Think about the amount of energy that's required to make that little doll get from the first, from the keyboard to your desk. It's a lot more than sending a digital item. I mean, yes, digital items use energy, but just imagine how much energy it just takes to melt down a mold to make a doll. It's people will pick up on certain things and say this is bad, but actually it's fractional compared to it. Right now, there's so much cost in distribution and creation of any item which is physical. Digital, the main point is global distribution in an instant. And yes, it uses power, but it's power that in theory you'd be using pretty much any way to facilitate the blockchains.
That's a point, and that's interesting. Let's keep about, I think it's the last question. I'm not sure. We're going to do a question and answer with you guys at the end, don't you worry. So do not hesitate to put your question on the chat. Do not hesitate to put any thumbs up inside the video, please, guys. So last question, where are NFTs stored? Because it's decentralized, it's a decentralized technology. So where is it? Inside my wallet? Where is the media, etc.? Who wants to begin?
We can do it?
Yeah.
So basically, this is a new technology. So right now, with a lot of companies, the NFTs are stored on blockchain databases like IPFS. But right now, a lot isn't. So even though you mint the NFT on the blockchain, the data is sitting on people's databases. They're sitting on their servers. And also, it's sort of a necessity right now as the technology gets more mature. And a lot of people are working on elements of this because even if you have, let's say, a 3D model and you've got it all on the blockchain and it's in a database, you can't view it. It's just like a pile of data and meshes and rigging. You need a way to view it as well. So right now, NFTs are stored in databases, but even that's not enough. Even if they're stored on the blockchain, you need viewers to view those items in an open source manner. And this is all coming right now. So I kept it short, but I could talk about that for another 30 minutes.
Perfect. To complete on that, it's interesting what you say, Jawad, about the database, etc. There is a media that we use. There is the blockchain information about the NFT. Let's cut the world in two. Blockchain is blockchain, meaning that the element that you have, the belongings, where it is inside the wallet, it's going to be on the blockchain of the protocols that you use. Could be Ethereum, could be BSC, could be another one. There is a multiple protocol, and we are here to speak agnostically. The second stuff is the media or the system of operation, etc. And this is interesting because there is two parts. Basically, we spoke about this, Jawad, before the meeting. There is first the media on itself, 3D model, image, video, music, could be an NFT about music. All those media could be stored inside a database, but you need someone to read it as well. And so let's say that, NFT is really at its first step right now, because as we see, we're going to need to have a universal reader on one hand, another a storage that never goes off on the other hand to keep the media alive, and that's IPFS. This is decentralized database of contents, but compatible with everything. And so all this element of NFT ecosystem will need to be done. I'm sorry, all the guys, for my French accent. I'm gonna try to make it very English and very without any accent. And the more I try, the more I have this French accent. So sorry, guys. So here are in for the question. Maya, do you want to add anything about where are NFT stored or any element?
Yes, of course. Well, the easiest way, let's move a little bit away from the technology, but the easiest way to store your NFTs, for me at least, is the Trust Wallet. When you have you can store your crypto collectibles and check the UX. It's very easy, so even a newbie can easily store the NFTs that you purchase on other marketplaces. Yeah.
Well, it's totally true. Totally.
We spoke about the limitations, but actually the practicalities, yes, you store it on your wallet. That's it. It's there. So, yeah.
Totally. Let's go to the next phase of the presentation. Here it is. So basically, we wanted to give you a landscape of what we find inside NFT, to show you some example of it, to speak about the next generation of NFT as what we see. So basically, if we take, for example, the art NFT market, we're going to separate it in three. For art, I can use my French accent with decency. And so there is the existing physical object that already exists. Here you see a representation of a Soulage, Pierre Soulage. And so basically, what has been done on this NFT is just to take the media of this painting, to then reproduce it as an NFT, and to then sell it. It's a little bit the equivalent of a poster, of a picture that you reproduce, etc. The value is different. On the digital creation and on the digital media, we will see another step, which are like elements that has been done inside the digital world. With Jawad, we spoke about it. It could be a 3D model. For example, on your site, Jawad, a 3D model of Godzilla, a 3D model about a Jaeger or anything from Pacific Rim. Something that has not been designed to be done in the real world, meaning it's really a digital media, and we're going to add in a feature of unicity, of accountability, of traceability, thanks to the blockchain technology. Why do I separate these two objects? Because features and aim are going to be different for both of them, and this is the way it is. And for us, and a little bit like when we analyzing how innovation flows, we're going to speak about the next generation, which is a generation where artists understand blockchain technology, use it as their own advantage inside the artistic process of creation. So it could be an NFT that after the 100th transfer, the NFT is burned, or it changed forms, or it changed, etc. Or maybe each transfer, or when it change ends, it could change color, or it could lose some information, gain some information, etc., etc., all based on a smart contract that could be created only for that, because at the end of the day, we're creating art piece. Guys, do you have any other element to speak about art NFT? Do you want to add anything? Maya, Jawad, I let you more depths, adding more depths to what I say.
Well, basically, I mean, even our NFTs are quite new. And this is where most of the NFT market is now. But it's only one category. You're going to see a lot of new categories appearing for NFTs. Art is easy because it's easy to understand. People can actually understand the key things, which are authenticity, limited quantity, and uniqueness. But we're going to see NFTs covering every other digital category. From music to sports to film to games. You're going to see it everywhere. This is the current landscape, but right now the landscape is just heating up.
Totally. Maya.
Go on, David. We covered basically everything.
Do you have anything to add?
Let's continue.
Okay. Okay, no problem. If we go more on the NFT mainstream, on gaming, collectible, etc., we're going to speak about some projects. So we spoke about the big IP with Pacific Rim and Godzilla versus King Kong. Sorry, Jawad. And
big IP.
There is also other collectible and big IP that we know. There is a Top Shot, famous, works well. Sora in Europa, which use gaming token of football card. We all know those collectible trading card game. We've all collected them when we were younger from all over the world. So I think this object speaks to your mind when you were a kid, etc. This is the enhanced version of the collectibles that you were trading when you were a kid, with different features, with additional element. If we move on, there is also my personal favorite, because I was a big fan of Magic, the Gathering, the trading card game that you're going to have. So we differentiate that because that's objects that have particular gaming software that you couldn't really use without the software. Again, on this, the question of universality of the software and the total compatibility of it during the time will be a real question. What happened if people just if the project is abandoned, what is going to be the value of the card if the software is not running anymore and you cannot play the game anymore? This is the question, because the NFT will disappear, or will not disappear, but the game could, and so what to do? And there is the last element, the blockchain game. So we saw some operation inside Binance. First, Axier. Secondly, and more recently, a launch pool about Alice, a game that is going to be on stream. Inside this game, you can buy, sell, use item, and use part of it that is going to be recorded inside the blockchain, and you're going to be able to use. So we separate those two worlds of trading card game and blockchain game. Why? Because in trading card, really, it's an object that is really, you know what you can buy, you know what you can buy. You cannot buy the board, but you can buy the card. In blockchain game, really, you can buy any object inside of it, anything that it composes, and playful and be playful with it. There is like some mechanism to get reward inside of it. Voila for the gaming element. Do anyone has anything to add? I'm really going into the collective intelligence. Jawad, Maya, do you want to add anything to that?
I just think you're going to see lots of new interesting games coming out, which are going to be using a lot of different mechanics. I mean, right now, DeFi was first, and then now you've got NFTs, and now you're going to start seeing a combination of these mechanics going on. I mean, if you look at that, like the Avagochis of this world and some new games that are also coming down the road, there's going to be new game playing experiences, but ones that make you money as well. There's going to be a lot of interesting things. Oh, okay. The next slide.
So yes, as you say now, this is a little bit, you know, I think it's really the sooner landscape, and sorry for that, but basically DeFi NFT, they combine finance and DeFi methodology and gaming methodology. I'm gonna let you discover those two ones that are on BSC. So either Bakery that's done the combo, and they go finance. So I let you speak more about it.
About DeFi NFTs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, as everyone who's in the blockchain ecosystem is fundamentally an investor. I mean, most people in here are investing. They're looking to yield farming, ways to mine NFTs, earn NFTs, mine tokens, earn tokens. I mean, these are really something that everyone wants to do. And like, for example, like in Terra Virtua, we're going to have staking programs, but in our staking programs, we're focusing on earning NFTs and rewards as opposed to just earning tokens, because people actually want, if you can just mine something and it can generate just a token, you might as well buy the token. If you can mine an NFT which is unique and you can only earn by mining, all of a sudden you have something rare that you can't buy. And so people are now looking to try to get these NFTs. They're looking and they're creating lots of novel new ways to do it. I mean, there are many new projects coming out which are trying to create little variations of this as well. So, and here at Terra Virtua, I mean, we have 5 projects, like Binance, I'm sure is 50, but we at least have 5 or 10 who come to us and want to have got novel new ways to try to mine or earn or yield farm from NFTs. And NFTs, one thing to mention is they're not just cards or games. These could be ownership to like Twitter type accounts. These could be rights to certain things that are in the physical world. They could be tokenized abstractions of other things that you can buy or earn with a right to something. People are making NFTs on diamonds, where you can get NFTs on raw diamonds, and you buy a right to them, and as they polish, they go up in price, and people's valuation of the NFT goes up. So there's going to be all sorts of applications for this, not just games, but people are applying lots of like things to physical world use cases.
Maya, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, actually, I was about to add, since NFT has a very good use case for the startups, so they can avoid all these expenses on protecting their intellectual property. So we might see more coming from that space. And yeah, I think this is really a use case, and it might actually be pushing the NFT industry, if we can already call it as a separate industry. Will we be able to call it a separate industry?
Yeah, we will, definitely.
Yeah, for me, it's really a use case inside the blockchain technology and inside the industry. But it opened a lot of use case, and it has made a strong push to all this environment. We see an adoption of celebrities, artists, people that would never go inside blockchain without this kind of return.
It's like you said, like if people have been buying skins in Fortnite in games for the last 10 years. They are spending millions and millions of dollars on digital assets that disappear when the company disappears or the game stops. People have been making in-app purchases for longer than that. Everyone's doing it already. They just don't get to keep it. So this is what NFTs provide. It provides permanence for the digital asset. And if it's permanent, all of the attributes of a physical asset become part of the digital asset. It's not an industry. It's going to be part of life. That's how we view it. I mean, digital is real, and physical is real, and they're both of intrinsic value. You can leverage them, lend them, rent them, do whatever you want with them. And this is what NFTs are going to enable. It's a game changer.
Yeah. Last point about that, just to finish about it. For you and what is going to be, the next evolution of the NFT, the next innovation inside the NFT. So every day we hear some new news about that. I wanted to have your opinion about this. Like, what is the next big things inside NFT for you both?
Maya, I keep talking first, so after you.
That's not fair. Well, obviously, it's a great trend to observe and to follow on that. I wouldn't make conclusions yet, because like in crypto industry, every year we have a big thing happening. But I think we might, exactly as you said, digital is now the new real. So I think with time there will be less, if I say it correctly. So the difference between the actual one, the NFT that is backed up by the material thing, and something that is like super digital, totally digital, the differences will be getting lost. That's what I think might happen, but it's definitely a trend to observe.
Okay. Well, this is something that we talk a lot about internally in our team. I mean, Gary and I and the rest of the team, we talk about this all the time. And what I would say to start with, look at every other category which exists, which isn't currently in NFTs. Right now, we're seeing art, but think about art, think about music, think about movies, think about all types of media, and also think about publishing. All of these things right now aren't in NFTs. And just imagine, let me just give you an example. Imagine if you had an NFT which was a music track, but that music track was broken into layers, so you could slice away layers of the music to hear different parts of it. You can take away the acoustics, and then you could hear the music. Think about what you can achieve in digital when you've got full control over the asset that you can't do right now. Right now, you can click a button and stream it. But if it's your own item, just think about, you had a record and you played the vinyl, but imagine you can play with it, tweak it, remix it, do things. I think you're going to see lots of really interesting things. I think those assets are going to become collectible again as NFTs. And then I think there'll be ways to manipulate them and play with them and get insight into them that you can't at the moment. And that's what's going to differentiate them. That's why an NFT is just not going to be a copy. If I've got a piece of music and I can listen to it in 4 different ways, without the drums, with just acoustics and all of this, and you can slice it away layer by layer. Imagine how interesting that would be. And there's all sorts of things like that we think are going to happen, and we're working towards doing a lot of this interesting stuff, because it's going to change a lot of things. It's going to be fun for everyone, and that's what these things are meant to be. It's fun, it's sharing, it's doing things with friends, and it's about enjoying what you have, not just clicking a button and streaming it and just having low quality, low grade. Kids if I look at when I was young, you were trying to find the best cord, the best cable for the best sound, and my girls are wandering around with this very low grade MP3 equivalent they're playing. It's just not the same thing. And NFTs are going to bring that back. You'll be able to make digital what you want it to be.
Totally. Last point, my impression is really about the type of media that we're going to have and the functionality. I'm waiting the creator and the artist to surprise us with those property, meaning that for us, an NFT is this. And, when an artist and when a creator will put his vision, his creativity on top of those technical elements, he will create surprise for us. He will question the existence of the NFT, the fact of blockchain, etc. thanks to it. So for me, I'm really waiting, the step up where all artists or artists that create NFT have a total understanding of what they create, how they create it. And that's also the aim also of this event, is to train a little bit a next generation of artists and our creative mind to use those NFT and to make it their tool to then make their creations their own. So voila. Voila is a very French word. Next step will be more about how to use the platform and how do you want to begin on the NFT competition. So basically, we have a competition. You're going to find all the detail inside the description of this video. You can create any first NFT that you want. It's going to cost you only $5 of fee. We're going to show you how to create one. The first step of all those things, if you don't have anything about blockchain, etc., will be to create a MetaMask account and to connecting you to the Binance Smart Chain. Why are we going to go to Binance Smart Chain? Maya, could you show me, please? Because I'm going to need to explain something in real life. Yeah. Screen only, please. And this is going to be fun. So basically, you have like two ways to create NFT. In fact, you have multiple protocols and multiple ways. Ethereum has been one of the most favorited standard of to create NFT. Why? Because it's been years that it exists. There is top of protocol inside. There is also a tutorial. But the problem with Ethereum is that, you see, here is an Ethereum wallet. And right now, the situation is like that, is that it's a fucking stale, meaning it costs a lot of fees to get that. Don't have any problem with the fire extinguisher.
Fire alarm goes off.
Yeah, the fire alarm didn't, but it was okay. So yeah, it's really sometimes a pain on Ethereum, even if it's a real good protocol. So what we wanted to do is to make example on Binance Smart Chain in order for you to be able to create NFT, but without spending hundreds of euros. And after that, you choose your protocol. You can stay on Binance Smart Chain. You can go more on Ethereum. It's really up to you to choose. Can we go back on screen sharing, please? So I'm gonna get out of the full screen just to show you one small trick. Once you have set up MetaMask, you're gonna need to set up Binance Smart Chain network. And so in order to do it really simply, you can come to PancakeSwap, for example, and just by allowing BSC mainnet that you're going to see here, you're going to be able directly to be connected to Binance Smart Chain and to go. There is multiple tutorial on how to do this. Sometimes you have to put the information yourself, but this is really the most simple and the most in 5 minutes type of way in order to begin inside of it. Then, not coming next, but let's begin to create our first NFT together. So I'm going to go inside Bakery Swap. Bakery Swap is great to create NFT. It's a platform that has been done for that. I'm sorry for the loading time. It's gonna come off really fast. And so inside of it, you have an NFT marketplace. And you're going to be able to create NFT for really a small amount of money, and we're going to do one together right now. So here you see there is like the marketplace. You can go browse it. There is multiple operation. But if you want to do an NFT yourself, your first NFT are not maybe the best artistical realization of your life, but the first prototype of what is an NFT. We're going to do it really simply. So here, it's going to be really simple, really fast. You can choose multiple media. It could be a picture, it could be a GIF, it could be a video, it could be an audio. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to take a picture. I'm going to put a network name. So let's say NFT Tuesday 01. Voilà. I'm going to put my name on it, and David 002. It turns that there is not any other one. No, nothing, just the NFT we are creating. Voila. And I'm going to upload a network image. We've been very creative to incite you to be also very creative. So I'm going to show you what's the NFT. So yeah, it's CZ Rambo. It's CZ, but inside the head of Rambo. And now we're going to mint it. So you're going to see it's actually simple. Once the image is uploaded, We just have to click to mint. And normally, voila, I'm going to have a MetaMask transaction 0.011827 BNB, approximately $5, $6 right now when I speak about the price of BNB being between 550, around 550. So let's confirm. And then my NFT will be created, and I'm going to be able to see him inside my gallery. So to see him inside to see it inside the gallery, you just go there. There are some NFTs that are in the process of creation, and so they are on the pending one. And if you want, once they are created, once Bakery has checked that the IP is good, etc., you're going to be able to see them totally. So voila. And if I refresh, because this was one that we train on it to do it, but voila, if I go, you see the ones that I just created right now. You can vote for it if you want, but no need, but voila. Jawad, one question about this. How about IP right for that? Basically, I took an image of Rambo. I used deepfake and I put the image of CZ. Is it something that is free of right, or is it something that I need a Sylvester Stallone to be okay with me?
Yeah, you know what? This one's a pretty great one. I mean, brands generally let you make fan art as long as you're not heavily monetizing it. They sort of turn a blind eye. And something like this is just a bit of fun. So
yeah,
I'm not sure. And in my opinion, this would be something that they would sort of just ignore. But it is something that technically you should be doing. But even if you look at Star Trek, Star Wars, people have made fan movies and the studios have let them go. And if it's for a bit of fun, they tend not to be difficult about it. But technically, I don't think you should, but I don't think anyone would get in trouble. But I'm not a lawyer for that.
Alors, we are professional. Don't do this at home. but basically, as long as I don't distribute this NFT, as long as I don't do a marketing operation about it, as long as I don't make it a competition to win this NFT, even if I won't, there is no problem because I just made a creation between me and myself. If I do more things about that, there could be any problem. But I wanted to show you an example that was, tricky enough in order to say, okay, even that we can ask question about it. Okay. So here it is for this token. Let's come back, the three of us, and I think for everyone, it's the time to ask question and to speak together, right?
Yeah, we have quite a lot of questions in the chat. Thank you very much for shooting them in the comments. Let's start maybe with this one. Okay. Are all the NFTs listed on Terra Virtua unique? That's the question for you, Java.
All the NFTs, they're all unique categories. Some are one-of-ones. And some of them have a limited number of mint runs. So it could be 1 of 15 or 1 of 20 or 1 of 50. So they're all unique SKUs, but like generally you find, so if an artist published something, there might be 1 of 1. So if we've got our little robots that are on our website, our VFlex, there'll be one which is platinum, which has got unique characteristics, and the other ones might have more of them. So yes, they're all unique, but all of them have got a set rarity, and the rarity defines how unique it is.
Then the follow-up will
Let's respond to the question, I think. Maya, do you want to add anything?
Let's go to another one because it's kind of following up on that. How to guarantee copyright? What if anyone can create a copy of art?
Well, it's the best example to do that is if I've got a painting on my wall, anyone can put it in a photocopy, right? And put the copy up on the wall. It's not the original. So some people will be happy with a copy because it's a digital item at the end of the day, but it's because it's not linked to the blockchain record, it's a fake. So if I buy a painting,
one question that comes to my mind when I'm on it as well, and sorry to disturb you on this and to interrupt you, Jawad, but what happened? It shows as well that there is something that is missing into the NFT art. It is something to validate the fact that what you own is really what you own. That is a validator art that is unique, that has not been copied, etc. That is this NFT. Either the IP is okay, and secondly, it doesn't come from another NFT or another creation that has been created before.
Yes, And that's where the provenance is very useful, so you can actually see what it's coming from. But also, I mean, this, and that's the thing, because if it is a particular, let's say it's an IP, you have the root contract that it's connected to. So just like, you know, when you're looking at a website and you've got a little padlock in the corner, and that way you can check to see whether the website is fake or not. That's really what the blockchain provenance is. But we'll just have to find a friendlier way to show it to the mass market. But that's what it is. It's proof of authenticity.
Totally. Technically, it's not really complicated to do that. But
No.
right now, you have to be an expert blockchain to assume and to be able to say that this object is unique, it's not belong to another NFT, etc., etc.
I mean, we made it quite easy on our platform. You can just click and it shows the history, and you can see the original owner and all the provenance quite easily. But everyone needs to start doing that, because people don't want to look through 1,000 different records. As you know, we want everyone on these platforms, so we want people to find an easy way to trace the history. That little padlock works really well. What else do we have here?
All right. 2,000 people are watching us still.
Okay, there's one here. How can you actually own copyright on a picture or a drawing? Well, if you're the creator, you own the copyright, but you do have the option to assign the copyright. And that's where Hashmaster is a really good example. That people and that's it's a very popular type of NFT. If people are watching, don't know it, it almost has its own subculture about these unique masks that have been created. And they are unique in that they allow people who buy them to own the copyright. So you can put the hash mark on a t-shirt, on a mug, anything you want. So as a creator, you can own that, and then you can assign it. But you can't get something and take the copyright. It has to be assigned to you. So that was answering that one. Okay.
One element about copyright that is interesting to say is that it's really something that is national based, meaning that copyright in France are different than system of copyright in US are different than system in copyright in other countries.
Yes, it's very different.
It's a nightmare, I didn't swear. To give you just one story that is interesting about copyright, this one you're going to remember. Do you know what is the picture that has been the most used, commercialized, etc., everywhere inside the world? Maya, do you have any idea about that?
That's new for me. Please.
So that's the picture of Che Guevara. You know, the portrait of Che Guevara, you know, that you see black and white, etc. That is amazing. In fact, in the country it was taken, there was no IP and protected rights. So the guy that has made this picture win €0 of this picture and never had any IP right about that. So it's really something that changed from one country to another. Just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, in Japan, there are warehouses of fan art, literally warehouses full of fan art. And there's a different copyright system there where people have to basically say, I own the right to publish this piece of work. It's complicated wherever you go. Okay.
I just see a question that is interesting that I just want to answer. I just saw about that, but it's more like, will there be a copyright law on the blockchain above all the institutional law? No. No. If there is no like law, universal corporate law of an IP law above, it's not blockchain that's going to gather all the country together to
yeah, just try to make global trademark. See how difficult that is. It's not easy protecting your IP.
If they don't get along, they don't get along, and blockchain will not be a solution for them to get along. It's going to be even more a problem than a solution.
Yeah, but you know, somebody's going to come up with a blockchain solution for this. It's like people are innovating every day. You know, we're going to see a way to probably have trustless IP global copyright. We're disrupting everything. It's just, okay, guys, that's a new ICO idea. Go for it. Let me see. What else do we have? There's one here. How can you make your art as collectible cards? Well, basically, anything that you make can be published in any format. So just like Dapper Labs have got collectible cards for Top Shots, there's nothing stopping any artist from making in any format. You know, like we have AR and VR. It's completely up to the artist. You can make it in collectible cards. You can put it on a 3D item. You can put it on a hologram later on. But there's lots of ways to do it.
We do have very practical questions. I think we have quite a lot of newbies in obviously watching us, and actually people are asking, where can they buy NFTs?
www.terravirtua.io. Look, there are lots of platforms out there, and they cater for different things. But if you just Google NFTs and to buy them, there are marketplaces, there are the IP marketplaces. There are lots of places, maybe 4 or 5 top sites. So the ones I would say is like Top Shots, Dapper Labs, Rareable, Maker's Place, OpenSea. Guys, go everywhere, buy NFTs everywhere. This is a small market, so the more NFTs you buy, the better. We're all cooperating with each other, and everyone tends to be friends in this market. We have no rivals, honestly.
Yeah.
Just before this call, we were talking with the CEO of Dapper Lab. We're having conversations because at the end of the day, together we're going to grow a market. Sitting in little pools, we're not going to survive. So for an industry to thrive, you need cooperation. So go to any of those sites, but go to TerraVertua first, everyone.
Yeah,
no problem.
It's also important to add that some of the marketplaces are running on Binance Smart Chain.
Absolutely.
Bakery's Fab, Treasureland, right?
Voilà, some are not. Bakery is totally a platform on Binance Smart Chain. Rarible, OpenSea, all those platforms are more on Ethereum for now. Could change, but both, all are good platforms. I would say that for now it's quite weird because there is not, the secondary market is really dispersed. We don't see someone with a lion's share. Not thinking about anything in particular, but voilà, there's going to be a rationalization sooner or later inside this market.
Yeah, when you see Ethereum 2 get its act together, you're going to you're going to see a lot of disruption, and I think Binance Smart Chain is going to be one of the players that's going to survive. But I do think there's going to be a lot of disruption when it finally really starts working properly. All of a sudden, a lot of layer 2 solutions are going to become redundant overnight.
Voilà, you say the word when it's going to finally arrive.
Yeah, finally. I mean, my head was telling me 2 years ago, it's coming. I went, no, it's not. Yeah,
it's really needed for the ecosystem to have Ethereum 2.0. It's not something that we are against or for. It's really something that all the blockchain need at some point in order to scale up. We really like the Ethereum protocol, and there's not a competition or something like that. Binance Smart Chain has its own road, and I think also it's going to survive Ethereum 2.0. It's right now it's more than surviving right now compared to Ethereum 1, but it has it's really needed that Ethereum advance in order to unlock a new set of potential for all the blockchain ecosystem. It's totally seen. Any other question, guys?
Yes, we do have quite many of them. Wait.
It might make sense for us to answer some of these questions offline, and we can just have them available before the following week, because there's so many here, and it's useful for the community. So I'll volunteer to answer a few of these after this as well.
We definitely are going to go through the questions, and Binance Angels team is already interacting in the chat. So obviously, and for sure, we will be answering your questions once the recording will be saved. I really like the question from Colombia. Wait, let me find it. Here it is. I have a question. Do you think the only use of NFTs are in entertainment industry and digital artists, or it can work for construction or architecture industry? So are we going beyond art?
I think there's lots happening beyond art even now. People are finding unique use cases. Like I spoke about diamonds earlier. There's supply chain NFTs. There's NFTs for authentication of users. There's NFTs which are based around fractional ownerships and representation of physical items. It's way beyond entertainment. There's multiple applications that people work on every day.
Yeah,
I might be mistaken, but this week I guess someone sold a house.
Yeah.
The NFT.
Yeah, I mean,
it's from Germany, right?
NFT,
yeah, and people are doing really interesting things here in Dubai. A lot of the blockchain community is winding up in Dubai at the moment, and they're doing lots of interesting things there with blockchain.
Where there is a unique object, there is a use case for NFT. After that, does all the unique object will be a good use case for NFTs? This is a question that we can ask. For me, the response is obviously no. There is unique objects that you don't want inside NFT or that you don't want applied inside NFT. But there is a really big and a vast field to play with.
Absolutely. No, it's huge. Well, we're only at the beginning. We really are. There's so much. And it's not entertainment. This is a digital representation of a physical world object. And in a physical world, we have entertainment, we've got sports, we've got financial objects, we've got physical items, and all of these are going to have digital representations. And they're all going to be on NFTs.
Yeah, we can also question the fact of what is an object, and why do you buy an object? Sometimes you buy an object for a souvenir, but this souvenir could be a media, a video, it could be even like basically an object. Sometimes is a representation of something that could be better in digital way. So you see, we're going to begin to think more about this that way. But for that, there is also something, and we need to speak about that. It's also the valuation of the digital object. Right now, digital doesn't have that much of a value for the common people. It's going to come with that, and we are not candid.
And already in March, I think NFT made 600 million, right? The trade volume, and it's only in March.
Yeah.
So in April, we will see where it goes.
If I remember, Top Shot, it was like 18 users in July, 1,800 and 1,000 right now.
Yeah, the market's exploding. But you know what the key thing is right now, that the market's sort of overheating a bit, and people are doing some good stuff for NFTs, but there's some real garbage out there. So we don't want people to be confused and end up buying the wrong thing and not like NFTs anymore. So it's an interesting time for all of us. We need quality, and we sort of need responsibility in people. And companies shouldn't let people just launch anything because at a silly price where they know there's not going to be any value later. So because when people are excited, they buy.
Yeah. Do you see any other question, Maya, that you find interesting and that you want to respond?
We do have many questions, but I think we might get to the closing thoughts already. Mm-hmm. This webinar is only the first out of the series of 6 webinars. So we're going to be running every Tuesday. We're going to be running one event, and the next one will be about innovation. David, maybe you can go to the slide where we have all the events listed.
Yes. So coming next weekend, we're going to speak about next Tuesday on transforming the digital economy, how NFT are impacting on the digital economy. Maybe we're going to speak about DeFi token more precisely and more in depth, with also some how-to and tutorial about how to use those DeFi NFT in one or two category of usage. Maya, Jawad, thanks a lot to have been here and to have done the first NFT presentation. I think I'm going to create an NFT for both of you guys and send it to you just exclusively as the attendance.
That's good. Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure being here.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Please give us your comments, your views about NFT, how you see NFT. We are going to be on the space of the comment of the video, and don't you worry, we're gonna be there during the next few days and during the next week. Do not hesitate to share your view. We're going to respond to it, and I want really to thank everyone from all over the world to have been on this first session on NFT Tuesday. Maya, I leave you the hand.
Please don't forget to join the NFT competition. I really encourage the creative people to join it. Try it, experiment. It's a great tool, and don't be afraid of that, because the entire story of the crypto industry proves that the one who joins the first will gain the most. So
when did you enter inside the blockchain ecosystem? When was the first time you bought BTC?
I got paid in BTC.
Whoa.
I was paid. Yeah, it was quite a while, but in this industry, we are all disappointed. Some people are regretting on not buying it when it was for $1, and others are regretting on selling it when it was 30,000.
We arrived too late into this market, and in fact, we all arrived too soon as well.
But it's a great time we are living in, obviously, and it's great to be involved in crypto these days. If you agree, give this video a like.
No, it's a fantastic time. It's a time of change, and we're right in the middle of it. We're in the belly of the beast. So, good fun.
Yeah. Everyone, thank you so much. And let's see you next Tuesday for speaking more about DeFi, NFT, Bakery, Deco Finance, some more protocol on BSC. We're going to go more in detail about that. And by the way, we're going to wait for the NFT competition this week. Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye-bye.